This is David Malmlevine with a late breaking news story. On the phone with me is Marc Emery. Marc, how are you doing?
Things are good. We had a wonderful time under a lovely tree right beside the door of the police station in Charlottetown. And they did not make an arrest, though they drove up and down on the road watching me the whole time, but they did not make an arrest. And of course, that might be because in the next jurisdiction, Summerside, the provincial court there has thrown out all the marijuana charges and said they wouldn't take any more. So they might be using that as some guidance.
Oh, excellent. Now, was there a good turnout?
Well, there were 12 people exactly. And I was told yesterday there wouldn't be a big turnout because a lot of the young people have to work. It's a tourist town around here, and it's pretty busy. And a lot of them are kind of not so much afraid, but let's say nervous, afraid, and in that it's a small island, small community. Everybody knows everybody on this island because they're all from here. And so, you know, if you're not out of the closet, so to speak, it would be difficult to come on board. But that having been said, I'm meeting about 20 to 30 of them tonight at 8 o'clock here to all talk about the federal election coming up and just what's going on in this community.
Excellent, excellent. Did one of those 12 have a camera on them?
We had a camera, so Cheryl's got pictures, but we don't have anything to do with uploading film. So I hope, but it will be covered on the news. CBC Television and CBC Radio were there. The local newspaper was there.
Excellent.
And a number of radio stations.
Well, wonderful. And now all the people of, I guess that would be Newfoundland?
Yes. No, Newfoundland said that they will arrest me. They were undecided for a couple of days, and now they've decided they will arrest me. So clearly different Solicitor Generals are giving different signals to the police, or it could be because St. John's hasn't had a court decision. In both Nova Scotia and PEI, judges in those jurisdictions, Halifax and Summerside next to Charlottetown, have thrown out all the pot cases, and the police might be taking their directions on a local basis, that if it's been thrown out there, they're not arresting me, but in St. John, New Brunswick, they've thrown them out, but not in Moncton. So I may face charges, but they now are undecided after having arrested me. They're undecided as to whether they're going to charge me, is what I learned today from the New Brunswick paper. So I think what this is doing is what exactly I wanted, is to have all the government agencies involved in enforcement, the Solicitor General's office of each province and the local police detachments, need to realize that marijuana is lawful and that they can't make these illegal arrests, and all the arrests that have been made for the last 2 years are unlawful. So there's an interesting period of time ahead, and obviously I hope to get a few days in court, but things are going well. The word is getting out, and everywhere I go it's being discussed that marijuana is already legal. So what the federal government is proposing in the fall, I said, is recriminalization. It is much worse than what we have now. The government should just stop opposing these court decisions and accept these verdicts.
Yeah, I noticed that maybe some of the more conservative papers or the U.S. papers have kind of tried to stuff the Rogan decision underneath the talk of decrim and just say that all this is happening because the government's talking about decrim. But I think for some of the more radical reporters that you're coming in contact with, they're really managing to get out the idea that it's not about decrim, it's about the Rogan case, and it's about there's no law in Canada.
Well, actually, that's still the majority. 80% of all the media are getting the story correct and the basic facts, like especially the St. John Telegram editorial, which basically said we accepted Marc's information, we corroborated, we found it correct, we went to the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, presented them with the evidence that there is no marijuana law, and at this time they said they don't know what they'll do. So newspapers are accepting that what I'm saying is true, and therefore they're going to the authorities with the power of the newspaper and saying, well, what is this? Is this true? Is marijuana legal? Are you not telling the people of Newfoundland, are you not telling the people of Prince Edward Island that marijuana is legal when in fact it is? So they're getting these questions asked. So as long as my tour can keep on, then we'll keep getting this message out. Occasionally they do bring in the new federal government proposals, and that's when I failed to get a reporter to understand what I'm doing, or the editor doesn't like where the message is going. But that's been rare, and I must say typically the message is getting out more clearly each time too. I've got all the newspaper and it's very prominent. In Moncton, the papers there gave it huge coverage, and I'm not sure how things will go in Charlottetown, but I think it sends a clear signal with what happened today about what the Prince Edward Island jurisdiction is probably acknowledging some degree of legality to marijuana. They're at least admitting that they may not have a case to criminalize someone or arrest them.
Right, so I guess the next stop on the Maritimes tour is St. John's, Newfoundland?
On Saturday, yes,
Saturday.
where they've threatened to arrest me, so there's some degree of advanced tension there.
But it'll be a bigger zone, there'll be lots more people there.
Well, I hope there'll be. I'm going to see if I can get on a talk show tonight and talk about it, a Newfoundland talk show. So
right on.
I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, you're on a roll, pardon the pun,